Welcome. You're watching a video on how to make money by content writing. This quick guide comes from the YouTube channel for Career Advisor IT. This video is like a self-starter motor. You're ready to go on your own. Our mission is to enable professionals to prosper. You will enjoy the learning with actual writing. I'll walk you through to understand the content writing. I learned content writing all by myself from basic. I created hundreds of contents and earned some money also. I like to educate interested people with some startup know-how. You too can develop as great content creator and earn extra money. If you're ambitious to dive into this ocean of opportunities, continue viewing. Please remember that you will master the skill by more online learning and practice. You can learn anything, but you need some basic knowledge to start. You started learning now. If you're conversant with internet, web, website, contents, and online, you may also skip 3 minutes for a jump start. Assume that you're in a large library. If you cannot find a book that you want, you may ask the librarian, but the librarian may not always be able to tell you where to find details about Varanasi, because you like to visit the temple at Varanasi. A website is like a library of many books. It has many web pages. If you find a book on Varanasi, you can read about it. There are millions of websites in the world. Many websites have some information about Varanasi. If you make an inquiry using a browser or a search engine like Google, you will get a list of all those websites that have some details of Varanasi. You can land on the website of your choice and read pages and get the information you want about the history, traveling, hotels, sightseeing, and more about Varanasi. Do we have a name for the entire collection of all libraries in the world? I'm afraid if there is any. But all the million-plus websites together are known as the web. You may also perceive the web as a cobweb that has spread the whole world, and all the websites are under one roof known as the web. The web encompasses worldwide, and so the website address starts with www. You cannot make a call even if you have a phone. You need a connection offered by a service provider. Similarly, internet is like a telephone service or a mobile connection provided by a service provider. This is the enabler to open the web. Once you're connected to the web, you are online to visit any website. You may get any information from the websites and also use of the services available in the website. For example, a bank allows you to check balance amount available in your account and even lets you transfer money to any other bank account. Doing a transfer of money using the internet and the website is an online transaction. Internet has become a common word even among common people. Some feel website, internet, and online are all the same. These three together are used for knowing about anything and also to do many things. Anyone can write anything on a wall. All that is written need not be true or correct. Similarly, be aware that not everything in the web is factual, genuine, or accurate. The phrase "writing is on the wall" in a workplace means that an employee will be fired soon, and it happens. Similarly, most web contents are also considered futuristic or realistic. Many findings on the web are also believed as correct and factual information. It is for you to validate if the information on a website is correct or not before trusting the content and making use of it. This requires your own assessment and judgment. This much of understanding is good enough to make the beginning to learn the content writing. The process of writing contents. A client or an employer wants a content for a web page or the website. The client awards content writing job to a professional writer. The client seeks offers from professional content writers by giving the scope of work, like topic or the subject matter, brief of the content, size, objectives, etc. The freelancer writer bids for the work, specifying the bid amount and with her terms and conditions. You can learn anything from the tons of information available on the web. Do your research on the given topic and understand the subject matter thoroughly. Then write the content in your own language. It is better to check the uniqueness of the content written before submitting it to the client. Once the content is received, the client verifies if it is original and accepts and makes the payment as agreed. Content must be original. Repeating a content on the web is not acceptable. You can never copy any part of existing content and copy it to your content. It may be rewritten without just copying any phrase or words in same sequence. If your content is found to repeat any piece of available text on the web, not only your content will be rejected, you will also lose your reputation forever. So please make sure that your content is unique and contains genuine and dependable information. How to write plagiarism-free content. Once you have found some useful information online and you like to make it as part of your content, rewrite the same by shuffling and changing the words with synonyms. Ensure that the string does not appear in the same sequence. Once you follow this approach, you can be sure that your content is unique. You can even do a plagiarism check yourself before submitting. There are two parts of learning. Number one, what not to do. The acceptable norms of writing the content is similar to grammar, but these are only guidelines telling you what not to do, rather than advising you precisely what to do. Please follow the tips and make your content look good and elegant. Number two, how to do. Make use of your creative ideas to write your content. It is for you to make best use of the suggestions and tips. A visitor to your web page landed after a search for some information. He's a stranger to your business. You do not see him, but you have to speak to him through your content. How? Write your content in such a way that the reader is impressed from the beginning to the end. Engage him to read the entire content and act as you expect him to do. This call to action, or the CTA, is the sole objective of the content writing. In this part 1, you will learn the essentials, but it is not going to be exhaustive. You will learn more as you go along with online learning and practice. We will take a project as a live example to learn the content writing, step by step. On the left half of the screen, you will find how not to write in the content. On the right half, you will see how to make it good. You will hear me how not to write and how to write it better to make it impressive. In the lower part of the left half, you will find the learnings from the example. We will use this as the template for the rest of the slides of part 1. A client placed an order to write an article of about 400 to 500 words on how to begin a career in finance industry, a popular and a most appropriate topic. Let us together start the writing of the content step by step. Write the heading, learning, content, title and paragraph subheadings must have first letter of every word in capital. Now you're going to start writing the first paragraph. The content is a spokesman, because you're a salesperson talking to your walk-in prospect to your store. So start using you most, and the reader will feel as if someone is talking to him and will be delighted to read further. You should also understand that the visitor landing on your web page is looking for some information or a support. It is necessary that you assume the expectations and furnish the required information right from the beginning in an impressive manner. It is recommended that the first sentence is short and preferably a question. Avoid using long sentences. Learning. 1. Break long sentences to small ones. Maintain an average number of words per sentence at less than 12. 2. The content is an interaction between you and your prospect. Change the sentence with you more often than any generic nouns. Visitors like crisp and concise content. Shorten sentences and drop unnecessary words for a good content. Learning. Avoid using long adverb like start working initially that does not add much value to the content. Readers are comfortable with active voices. Learning. Do not use passive voices. You will find that the content writing uses certain additional words enthusiastically to motivate reading with interest. It will give the reader a feel because he is going to understand how to begin a career in finance industry soon. Learning. The sentence is rewritten to retain audience attention by adding as a stepping stone and jumpstart. This is the last line of the first paragraph. We have actually demonstrated how to rewrite a content that was not good enough. Many such contents that are not of good quality are often rewritten, like creating new contents. There are also plenty of jobs for rewriting the existing content. Learning. Keep using you in the content to make the content interactive. A long sentence with repeated words and uncommon words are avoided by making simple and short sentences. Learning. Use simple, familiar, and common words. Do not use unnecessary words and avoid repeating anything. Combine sentences if it can avoid long texts in the context. Learning. Make the content concise by rewriting with crisp sentences. Asking a question and answering is another tact that is used to make the content sticky, to glue the visitor onto the web page. Learning. Make a question and answer it. The communication with your visitor becomes more effective by clarifying possible questions in mind. As we open the third paragraph, you are making the reader realize that you know what he is looking for. Learning. Combine long sentences and make it short without compromising on the content. Simplicity is important. Towards this objective, try and make every sentence simple. Learning. Make the sentence simpler and shorter. Guess what your prospect expects. At the same time, remember, you should only be selling what you have. Please make sure that you do not offer whatever you cannot fulfill. Learning. Make the sentence to explicitly state your expectations. It is time to sum up the visitor's expectations in such a way that your prospect agrees on what he wants. Use numbered and bulleted points to present your rationale for the conclusion. Any reader will appreciate such an overview. Learning. Sum up the expectation concisely. Writing of the conclusion in the last paragraph is most important because some readers view the opening and swiftly move to the conclusion to get a quick summary of the content. Only if the introduction and summary are impressive, such prudent reader will roll back to understand how the conclusions were arrived at. Learning. As you come to the end, the summing up should be excellent and clear. Make use of numbering and bulleting rather than long sentences. Now you're going to justify a call to action, CTA. You should conclusively tell the visitor why and how a decision was made in this case. Learning. Sometimes some part of the original writing may be good enough. Just carry it through with minor changes to avoid risk of a plagiarism check. It is the concluding view wherein you condition the reader to accept your recommendation in the article. Learning. Conclusion must be convincing for the call to action. It is usually at the end of an article the call to action, CTA, is made. It should be compelling to act as you desire. Learning. The last sentence of the article is the call to action. It is expected that most visitors contact I.T.Career. The author biography is retained at the end. Sum up. What we have done is rewriting an existing article, For exploring what not to do, it was considered a better approach. The original article had 455 words and the rewritten article has 351 words. The objective of rewriting is not to reduce the size but to improve the content quality. Even though you review your own writing repeatedly, you should use someone else to audit before you finalize. You will find this rewritten article appearing soon in the website I.T.Career.ca. Great tips for creating a new article will follow in part 2. But remember that further learning and practice will make you an excellent content writer. You learned what not to do in the part 1. You will now develop skills to create good content and promote the purpose of online business. You will also understand how you can make the content that will keep your web prospect engaged till the end of the content. In the later part, we discuss about optimization and the strategies of how to write. As we go along, you learn the analysis on the marketing on the web. There are many types of content writing categories, and you may specialize in any and become versatile over many. We will brief on the top 10 popular skills at the end. Among the various types, copywriting is most common. Copywriting is interchangeably used with content writing. You're learning the copywriting, although we use the common term content writing right through. The essentials for content and copywriters. The basic skill required is just a good knowledge of English. You should be able to carry out a research on the given subject matter, analyze a problem, and evaluate different options. If you're able to engage an unknown person to read your web content in full and persuade for a desired action, you're a great content writer. Traditionally, articles are written with the first paragraph as an introduction or a snapshot. It discusses the problem or the subject matter. In subsequent paragraphs, the matter is analyzed with research, references, possible solutions, options, merits and demerits, etc. At the end, conclusions are arrived at as a summary in the last paragraph. Whereas it is in the reverse order when writing content. The reader has landed with some problem, groping in darkness to find a solution. He wants to see the solution first. There is no patience nor time to read the entire content. The solution to the problem or the conclusion is presented first, crisply. Then writer takes the reader through, telling how you analyzed and arrived at the rationale by researching on the topic, findings, alternatives, and viable options. Finally, conclude why your solution or a recommendation is the best. This is the time for you to sell and to make a call to action, CTA. Make a good beginning. What is the scope of content writing work? What is the title for the content and the call to action or CTA? Gather other relevant details also. Conceive the structure of the content. Write it down and plan your writing. Paragraphs with subheadings add value in some contents. Follow the practice of limiting the number of sentences to 5 or 6 to a paragraph. Carry out a thorough research on the subject matter before you start writing. Title. Make use of either of the tips, not all at a time. The title has to be about the content. Let the title make the visitor to your web page feel that he has come to the place wherein he wanted to get some information after searching the verb. Use of the keywords in the title, primary words first, and the others later. Keywords are the words the visitor typed. for searching and landed on your web page because your content has the keywords within. Titles with a question have easier reach. It is better if it starts with how to. Titles starting with the words like secret revealed or warning will also pull in prospects. Make it short and with common and simple words. Welcome your walk-in prospect. Someone has landed on your web page and is reading your writing. Give him the feel that he has come to the right place with your first sentence. Make it short or ask a question and answer. Let him nod. This will enthuse your reader to read on. It is for you to hijack him with you till the end. People look for solutions to problems. You can sell to your online prospects in the first encounter only with the content. Let us take an example. A visitor trying to find a solution to how to get a job landed on your web page. Your next few sentences can lead to 4 steps to get the job. You're going to explain how the visitor will get through these steps. It could be to register for a support program, a counseling, or a training. You have just done your first paragraph wherein you expressed your understanding. In the subsequent paragraphs, you have to approach the problem and arrive at an acceptable solution. Your methodology should be convincing and interesting to read through. You can follow tips from the global experts in this field and make your content effective to accomplish your goal. Present your approach briefly on the research, study reports, recent news analysis, observations, options with pros and cons, and a rationale to a possible solution. Do not sell. Let your reader buy. How? Sell the benefits of your offering and not the features, or explain how your product will solve a typical problem of the reader. You are writing a content to sell, but it is not so easy. Your reader does not necessarily come to buy, but the reader is a tech-savvy person and is likely to take a decision if it is going to be a solution to his problem. Most web prospects are inclined to take instant decisions. Cash on the opportunity. Please be aware that the human mind wanders always. Let your writing go at a steady pace. Not everyone understands a fast delivery. Keep your visitor engaged. Tell something differently. Let your content be simple and crisp. Use bulleted points and numbering for all the key points that you convey. Add a small story. Give an unusual analogy. Give a surprise. Reaching the reader till the end. Keeping the prospect engaged till the end is a task for you. Besides the content, add pictures, videos, graphs, links, and more, because all these have no barrier to impress the reader. The content has 3 tasks. First, it has to attract the prospects. Second thing is to make them read the content till the end with interest and ensure that they accomplish their purpose of getting some information or service. Lastly, convince the prospect to take action as you expect. You can contribute to these objectives as a content writer by following the 5 guidelines. No repetition. Avoid undesired writing. Use impressive sentences. Make good impressions while reading. Use best styles. Tips for content writing. No repetition. Should not use the same words close by or frequently. Make sure that there is no repetition of any part of your own content within. Avoid undesired writing. Do not use unfamiliar words. Delete any adjective that does not change the meaning of sentences. Some adjectives like cutting edge, market leader, etc., that sound good but can bloat the sentences. Avoid exaggeratory statements. Do not use exclamation marks without your view. Do not leave it to the reader's guess. Use impressive sentences. Start with a very short sentence or a question. It will attract viewers who read further on. Make it short without compromising the matter. Start sentences with and, or, but. Let the reader go on to the next sentence without losing interest. Make good impressions while reading. Use subtitles in bold letters for the paragraphs. Use scannable text in which that the reader finds what they need, understand, and make use of it. Read the content in slow pace, not fast. Reader will not understand your rationale if forced to read fast. Use best styles. Be aware that the content is for your audience and not for everyone in the world. Subtly express your understanding of the requirements of the visitor. Use sensory and emotional adjectives like dazzling, vibrant, stupid words that hit the reader. Add photographs, videos. Embed hyperlinks. SEO the content. SEO for the site. These are recommendations for getting your contents acceptable. Strategies to make great contents. Believe that you can do better next time. Review your creations repeatedly. You will always improve. Also get another person to proofread before releasing. Add the hyperlink of any web pages that you use in your content and get appreciated for genuine source for the content. You may find some part of a content on the web good and useful. Do you like to embed these in yours? Beware of plagiarism checker. Shuffle, change some words with synonyms, and change sequence of words in your copied sentence to make it unique. Let it impress your reader and make it compelling to read on. Provide source for the exhibited graphical presentations and data. Make every sentence an interesting read instead of the reader feeling, so what? Be quantitative. Instead of writing hundreds of the subscribers to your channel, you should say 378 subscribers. Optimization means making best use of resources for most effective outcome. Search engine optimizations, or SEO, in the web world is conscious and constant efforts to be visible in the World Wide Web. The sole objective is to bring most of the likely customers and prospects to your site than to the others. We call it traffic of quality and quantity to the site. For the simplicity of understanding of search engine optimization, SEO, look at a picture. Search engines like Google, Yahoo, Mozilla, MS Edge, and more are standing between the web and you, one among the web browsing community. Every search engine has a crawler that periodically collects the words with the count of occurrence from the directory of words of the websites. When there is a search request, the engines search the respective crawler and not the actual site. How can they rank and list more than 1 million sites of the World Wide Web in less than a second? It matches your search keywords with the cached or slaved directories of the web sites and instantly ranks them in the order of incidence. only when you decide and click on a ranked web page, the engine fetches the web page for your view. If you've got the keywords in the content of your website or the page, you get ranked. This much of understanding is adequate for the content writing, and you may go through a detailed learning from a video on the SEO later. It is time to understand the wide scope of content writing under many different headings. The purpose of presenting them now is to indicate that there are several skills and plenty of opportunities under each. You may choose the ones of interest to you after a briefing on each of them later towards the end. You can master in multiple of these specializations after you complete the preliminary schooling in content writing. You're now looking at the top 10 skills in demand. You may specialize on any and brand yourself as an expert or advisor in any. Blog writer. Blog post is a web page on website. Expert blog writers establish trust by writing authentic content with factual data and by using SEO expertise. Brand journalist. The brand promoter of business is highly talented to bring out an experience or a story of the brand. Their press releases and promotions are created with compelling headlines that result in large number of shares and high click-through rates, CTR. Creative writers bring impressive topics, bringing the details of the brand and customer expectations in every sentence. The writing is a creation that is made in such a way that enthuses the reader to easily understand entire content and accepts the CTA to either of buying your product, calling you back for a service, joining your group, or downloading a report. Ghostwriter. The contents are written for use by anyone to express a neutral view of the brand and customer experience in press releases, white papers, etc. Technical writer. Technical writer does not explain technology directly but tells like a moral story so that even a layman understands about the subject matter. For example, this channel is dedicated to make videos that make things easy to learn for everyone. Social media writer is the sole marketing person to create contents that flows through social media platforms to bring visibility for the brands. Email writer generates leads by writing content with impressive headlines and action sentences. Scriptwriter. They write the right messages that go with the videos for promotion and multimedia and reach audience for the promotions. Long-form content writer. Writing documents like white papers, ebooks, etc. that are very long requires experts of the subject matter. Ad and promo writer. These promotions have limitation of time and content but have to be effective in getting CTA. What next? If you like this video, please let us have your review in the comment. If you feel it will be of use to others, please share. We also suggest that you subscribe to this channel, Career Advisor IT, and get notified of more useful videos in the making. Our mission is to enable professionals to prosper. Best wishes, and thank you for viewing.